I updated my chicken coop, and I built a brooder on the inside of my chicken house. This is my inside brooder. Now, when I get the babies, they'll stay in there for 30 days if I can stand them that long inside the house. Then they'll go to the outside brooder. This is my outside brooder, and it's pretty big, and I usually keep it on a carport. But I come in from work and had a couple of cats sitting on it, and the bird's going crazy, so I figured might ought to do something different. Now, I just built a new chicken house, so what I done this time with them was I took my outside brooder and put inside the chicken house. And that worked out pretty good. After they spent 30 days in there, I took them out of the brooder and put the brooder underneath the chicken house and put them inside the chicken house. Now, the problem is that I'm fixing to get some more new babies. And I can't put it inside the chicken house because the big girls is in there. And I won't have enough room. So therefore, I had to come up with another idea. Either that or I had to put it back on the carport, which would leave them again open to the cats. Now, inside my new chicken house, I have a storage area that's 4 foot by 8 foot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to utilize 4 foot by 4 foot of that and make me an outside brooder. So that way it can be permanent and it can be inside the chicken house. Now I know that I'm going to have to store stuff on top of this brooder, so therefore I'm going to have to make it strong. So I'm using 2x4s, putting in between the joists in the walls, or the studs in the wall, and so it can be very strong. I'm also taking 2x4s and running across the top for top support. I'm going to store food on top of there, and that's a lot of weight. And you can't ever tell. I might sit down on it from time to time, so it's got to be strong enough to hold me up as well. Now, I do want the plywood to go all the way to the wall to make it as strong as possible. So therefore, I'm going to have to cut the plywood out where the studs go up against the wall. Because like I say, I want to make it as strong as it possibly can to store stuff up there. So at the front by the door, I turned 2 2x4 sideways and stuck in there. That'll be where I would actually sit down on it should I need to do that. Now at the back, I only use 1 2x4, turned it sideways and run it kind of down the middle. But it's just to the right side of the stud in the wall, if you look close. Then I cut out my plywood, and I measured my studs in the wall, and applied that to the plywood, and cut those out, and then I brought it out there and see if it would lay down. Of course, naturally, it didn't go right the first shot. It took me like 3 tries to get it to where the plywood would lay down like it was supposed to. Then I measured over from my support 2x2, 2x4, and I drew me a circle large enough to where I could use a heat lamp to shine down through the plywood to keep the babies warm. Then I cut out that hole, and I took hardware cloth and I put over the top of it and staple all that in. That way, if I need to, I can actually just lay the light on top of the hardware cloth and not worry about it falling through and hurting the babies or anything like that. I made the door out of 1x1s. Now I got them at Lowe's, got them in a pack of 4, and they was all strapped together. I could tell one was bent, but when I got home and cut them apart, there wasn't a straight one nowhere in it. you can look at the door there and tell how many braces I put in there. But even with the braces, I could not make that door straight or make it lay down right. But again, it's a chicken house, it's a chicken pen, and I wasn't about to buy more wood just so I could make the door straight. So I just used it like it was. I had some scrap wood that already had some wire on it, and so I just cut that to size, and I used that to finish the front out over to the side so that I wouldn't have to use up any more new wood. And I drilled a hole and made it so that my little handle would stick straight into the 2x4 to lock them in. And so it all worked out okay. Then I had to test and see how the storage was going to work out. This is the orange inside brooder I was talking about at the first. It's my second one. So if I have a bunch of babies, then I've got two that I can use it on. But my storage is going to work out all right. The heights and everything seems to be fine. Here, I'm testing it for strength. I've got my brooder box in front of that trash can full of food. I have a bag of pine chips or bedding, but I'm making sure that it will hold the weight that it's going to have to hold. I also set on it to make sure that part was all right. Now, this is a picture from inside the chicken house. So you see that the brooder and the big girls are only going to be separated by a chicken wire. That way they can get to know each other before they're actually mixed together, so that they can the big girls could hurt the little ones. Another picture from inside the chicken house. Two sides of the brooder is going to be wire. Two sides is going to be wood. Top and bottom is going to be wood. Now, after they spend 4 weeks in that brooder, they'll be 2 months old. Then they'll come out into the run into this little chicken house that I have on the outside. Now, this chicken house is 4x4, and it's got a 4x10-foot run on it. But this is where they'll stay until they get big enough to fend for themselves so that I can mix them in with the big girls. Speaking of the big girls, when I come out to take the picture of this little coop, they all come running over to see if I had any treats for them. These are my Lavender Americanus. They're not laying yet, but they're the biggest girls I got right now. I have 8 Lavender Americanas. I believe 5 of them are hens and 3 roosters. 2 of the roosters is on the right-hand side right there. But I believe they are pushing 4 months old right now. Also from this hatch, I have 7 roosters right there to the left, and that's my rooster pen. They are, I'm getting them fat. They are waiting to get big enough so that I can put them in the freezer. However, now my Lavender Americana roosters, I'm not going to put them in the freezer. I'm going to save them for breeding. That's a very rare chicken. Thanks for watching, guys.